Michael Nagy here with Jiggy Jag TV and DiscoveringBands.com. And for everyone watching, if you've shared this video on my channel and help support the awesome bands I feature, and today I'm here with SinThya. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Michael?
Good, good. It's great to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, you want to start off and tell us how you got into goth and experimental music to begin with?
Sure. So, when I was growing up, I was quite the radio kid, so I was just like, whatever the fuck was on the radio was that I listened to. But one time when I was younger, my dad started, my mom and dad are divorced. They've been divorced for as long as I can remember. But we used to take, like, every other weekend and go to my dad's. And every time we were in the car, he would always play his. My dad was very heavy into, that dark scene in the 90s. In the 2000s, he used to book tours for all kinds of bands. I'm talking anything from Mushroom Head, Ministry, Cradle of Filth, Marilyn Manson. He did a bunch of times. Like, he booked a lot of that. He also used to be a noise musician for a time back when he was a DJ in the 90s. But, and, he helped produce a bunch of bands that didn't really go anywhere, and he was friends with a lot of bands that unfortunately didn't go anywhere. But, he's been in that scene a very long time. And, one time I was in the car with him, and, like I said, I was a radio kid. I didn't really, have an understanding of that scene yet. I think I was like maybe 9 or 10, and he was playing Concentration by Machines of Loving Grace. He was playing the song Butterfly Wings, and I was like, this is great. Where's this been my whole life? And I thought that was it. And then right afterwards, he played A Daisy Chain for Satan by My Life with a Thrill Kill Cult. And the second I heard that song, I knew that I was going to be huge into industrial. And once I got into middle school, it was just, that was it, That was like my main slice for almost a decade now, if not already a decade, actually. I'm 20 now, so almost a decade. But, yeah, I mean, if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be into, like, the industrial scene or the music collecting and all that. And funny thing is, the people that you interviewed couple interviews ago, Luna 13, I'm actually good friends with, and I met them through my radio show. So, it all comes around full circle. And when it came to experimental music, that was all me. Like, I started getting more into all this crazy stuff that was coming out, like your Death Grips and all that. And then I started listening to, like, Nurse with Wound and Cat Rapes Dog and Cabaret Voltaire and all that. And I like that noisy sound. It's very gritty. And there's something about it that really pulls me in. And so I actually used to do noise music on the side before I started doing my major thing. So I call it experimental industrial because I still add elements that you wouldn't necessarily hear in the industrial scene. And I kind of mesh that together to make my own sound.
Awesome. And tell us about your latest record, the collaboration with Silence and the Machine.
Yeah, so we just did an album called Error Fiend, and if you'll let me share my screen for a minute, I actually pulled up right here. Can you see this?
Yes.
Alright, so this here's the Kickstarter that I made for Error Fiend to put out physical media. So far, we've raised about $126 out of $650, and basically you have all these rewards, so we're at $20, you get digital codes for my last album, both versions, and this one. $30, you get a CD or cassette along with the digital codes, and $50, you get the CD, the cassette, and the codes, and you get an optional signed CD of the last album, since I still have, like, I think about 20 of them left. So, that's something I've been working on the side. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I figured I'd use this chance to shamelessly promote the Kickstarter that's been at 126 for like a week. But so the album, the funny thing is that originally it was going to be an EP, and because my idea was I was going to put out a couple EPs this year, before I put out my big album in November, which is called Figures, and it's going to be I would say my debut, because it's like my big digital, my big studio record that I've been working on for like 3 years now. And unfortunately, I only have 4 out of 11 tracks done. I really need to get on it, but I've been working on all these other projects for my label and doing remixes and whatnot. And I'm trying to do some features, so I'm like, I'm all over the place. I'm a little sporadic at the moment, but I still got an open schedule, and I plan on doing it anytime I can. Probably going to put out a single or two next month or so, or in 2 months. We'll just have to see. But so it was originally going to be an EP, and I was talking to Wes, and I told him, I was like, hey, I really love your work, and we had both done remixes for each other beforehand, so we both knew each other's, talents. And I told him that I wanted to do a remix EP. I know, not a remix EP, just a regular one. That was basically going to be 3 or 4 songs and a cover. And we were originally going to cover Everything Zen by Bush, of all things. And he came back to me about a week later, and he's like, hey, I think we should just do an album. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I can work around some tracks and whatnot. And then he just sends me this folder, just bunch of like instrumentals that he was going to throw away. It's like a bunch of shit that he wasn't going to use. Unfortunately, what comes with that is that a lot of them don't have the stems anymore. So if people were to remix it, they would only get like the instrumental and the vocal stuff. And that's basically it, because unfortunately he had some kind of issues with his DAW or something, and the stems are just, for most of them, I think there's like 1 or 2 of the songs on there that still had the stems. But regardless, he basically gave me this long template, and I sat there for about 3 months or so and just wrote lyrics for every single song. And then I just spent, it took me about 7 months to make the record. I started all the way in September, so before the Silence even came out. And I sat there and I did everything from mixing, mastering, songwriting, vocals, promotion. I'm doing it all, because he was going to. Now, the original intention was that the lyrics were going to be so every song has both of us on it, but because of a clash of schedules and a bunch of crap going on in his life, he was only able to do Kill Yourself. He was only able to duet on that. But that's fine, we can always like re-record it later on or something for an anniversary. Well, whatever happens, we'll just have to see in the future. But yeah, we put it all together, and the Everything Zen thing never happened, obviously. So we ended up, he gave me this template for Coma, and I actually waited, since I have people in the house. I actually waited for everyone to leave, and then I, without any like vocal practice or anything, at the top of my lungs, did my best impression of Coma White I could, and it sounds kind of shitty because like I peaked my mic a couple times there, but I basically just messed around with volume control and was like, yeah, I'll just do that one take, and I did all the backing stuff around it, and Coma White came out, and it got literally no people interested, and I'm actually okay with that, because I don't want to be one of those artists that gets mostly well known for a cover, and I've done a couple covers in the past, and I don't know, it's just not really my strong suit. I like to make my own stuff as well, but I like to mesh it all together. I try to put out at least 1 or 2 covers every album is my intention.
Awesome. And speaking of collaborations, do you think you'll be doing more in the future? And do you have any other artists you'd like to collaborate with?
As a matter of fact, yes, actually. Like I said, I'm very open for features. Like all I really say is like I'm willing to do free features. I don't really care, Like maybe if I get bigger later on, I might ask like $30-50 for a remix, but like I'm not gonna be like the bigger names who are like, oh, it's gonna be $400. It's like, oh, it's a little steep, But I get it, man. It's gotta eat. But when it comes to features, I'm down to do anything as long as they are an electronic artist or even a metal artist, since I do have quite the range, from what I hear. I'm willing to do features for that. My only thing is that they have to be on Bandcamp, because that's mostly where I get my mojo. That's mostly where I get my stuff, like my streams and whatnot. That's where I make money off of the most. It's off Spotify and Bandcamp, because my merch sites are basically dead. Like no one ever goes on them. But that's fine. It will formulate in time. Because I mean, I got 2 albums out right now. I'm still crafting what all I want to do. And yeah, no, if you want to know, there are some people I would love to feature in. Nightclub would be a great option for me, because I really love their sound, and I think she's got just this amazing, like, way of production in her voice. And I'm like, I don't think I could compare, but I could definitely harmonize. I would say the same thing for Chelsea Wolfe, because her first album, Apocalypsis, a lot of the songs on there, I could easily be happy to harmonize with or have my own verse. Bow Ever Down, I would love to feature with her. Unfortunately, I didn't get to for this new album, but I hope to later on. I've featured with Silence the Machine, like, quite the number of times. We've done quite a lot of work together, but, I'm always down to do something with. There's other people out there. Luna 13 is also one I would like to one day just be like, hey, you want to give me a little feature in here? Just
Now, if people want to look you up online, find your music on social media, how do they do that?
I on my Instagram page and my Twitter page, I have a link tree in the bottom. When you click on the link tree, it has every single link of mine. I'm talking my Reverb Nation, Discogs, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, iTunes, all my music videos. Reverb Nation. I'm on everything except for MySpace. But I'm considering, since Facebook's all about censorship.
Yeah.
Hashtag bring back MySpace, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the censorship has become really bad lately with some of these platforms.
Oh yeah, that's insane. I work a crappy dead end job, and it was Associate Appreciation Day a couple days ago, and so they paid for this food truck, and we were basically just able to get free shit. Like, we were able to get free meals. And I posted the meal on Facebook, and I think Facebook actually went to my post and tried to flag it, because they said it looked like it was showing sexual misconduct, because I had a picture of me trying to eat like this foot-long hot dog, and I'm like, what? This isn't gay porn. I'm just trying to eat a fucking meal, man. Yeah, Facebook's just, they're crazy, man.
That's wild. Yeah, when I did an interview with Luna 13, they were saying too, how they have to censor some of their stuff, and a lot of the other bands I've talked to too.
Yeah, I noticed that Lilith said that she was going to put her music video, "The Beast Within," on their what's it called? That sex site. I forgot what it's called. You know what I'm talking about? Huh?
Pornhub?
No, not Pornhub. The other one. The cam girl one where you make money off it. I forgot what it's called. OnlyFans. That's what it's called. Yeah, she said that they were going to put the uncensored Beast Within video on OnlyFans. And now, I just, one of my recent music videos, The Air is Poison, I also had to heavily censor for YouTube, but I just made this subscription thing in my Bandcamp, which basically for $15 a year, people get access to my entire backlog, and they get like 50% off on all my merch. But I also I like to post secret messages in there, and one of the ones I did was I actually gave them the fully uncensored version of The Air is Poison. So if people subscribe, they can actually see the uncensored thing and all its disgustingly gory glory that it is. So, you know. I mean, I censored a lot of things. Like, I even censored, I have this footage of the KKK in the video because if you've heard the song, it's very, like, anti-political, very anti-racist. It's very anti-everything, essentially. It's basically an anarchist anthem, I would say. It's basically just talking about how people are shit and they'll do anything just to, you know, get their word across because people are selfish. And that's just human nature. You know, you can't blame people for it because that's just how we are conditioned as a species, you know? And basically what the song is about, and I had footage of the KKK on there because I had all this different footage of people getting, you know, murdered, of people doing fucked up shit, of people having to defend themselves for wrongful reasons, and of people doing these terrible things to people. So I figured it was fitting to put KKK footage in there, but I did heavily censor it for YouTube because you never know. You know, you never know. Someone could come across and be like, oh, well, I don't, you know, everyone has something to say about something. Now, I don't find myself racist because I like to think of myself as equally prejudiced because I either love you or I hate you because there's people I love and there's people I work with and then there's people who wouldn't care to, you know, do anything for me or care about me. And I'm like, look, man, I'm going to see you maybe one day in my life because I see hundreds of faces a day. And there's no point in starting some shit if it's not going to matter tomorrow, you know? I think that's a good mantra to go by.
Yeah. Now, I want to say, where would you like to see the project in a few years from now?
I'd like to see this project eventually end. I'm thinking in about maybe a decade or two. I might, you know, do 20, 30 years of SinThya and just end it, you know, just cut the feed. Because, if you've been looking at my independent label, I've actually been putting out multiple projects throughout the time of it because the whole label is just me. So I have a number of projects that I'm doing on the side which are completely different sounding things. And there's actually a lot of things I'm working on at once because I have a hardcore punk band I'm also working on called God Grandeur and the Freaks of Nature. And I'm actually working on a demo for that. I'm working on a demo for my goth rock band, SinThya and His Demons. And I'm trying to get people to join that band because I'd like to have more instrumentation from other people in it. Because, I mean, I do pretty much everything myself. You know, everything that I put out is mostly just me. I just put out a demo tape for a band I decided to make as a joke because I saw all these grind bands going around. And they always have like their own little genre. Like they're like, oh, we're gore grind, but we're porno grind, but we're grind core, you know? So I decided that I was going to make my own genre and call it pussy grind. And so I made a band called Fuck Sludge, and it's a 10-track demo. It's about a little over 20 minutes, and it's just unlistenable, offensive garbage that I just made strictly to offend. Like, and I find it hilarious. But yeah, I mean, it's available now. It's like, I think $3. And then if I get the money, I'll put out a couple demo tapes, and that would be it. You know, maybe make like 20 of them, sell them for $5 each, just like little promos.
Yeah, just work on all sorts of projects, right?
That's right. Which means that I'm more than happy to have people, you know, come along for the ride and join the projects or, you know, donate. Because I have a donation page that I constantly try to get people to donate on because all the donations from my donation page, which is also my link, all that money goes into projects and equipment and stuff like that because I'm trying to do some live shows later on as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was good talking with you and having you. I look forward to what you're doing in the future, and everybody look them up.
Absolutely. You know, I seem to be a bit of a rambler, but hey, you know, That's the price you pay to interview a crazy man.
It was all good, and for everybody watching, link the music in the video description. Go check that out.